All right, it is Tuesday, and that means it's time for Tuesday tier rankings, where we look at every starting quarterback, or at least the quarterbacks that played the most for each team in week 7 of the NFL, and we put them into one of these 5 tiers: great, good, fine, poor, or trash. And I think we may have more in the trash this week than we have in any week of this so far. We're going by division, starting in the NFC West with Brock Purdy against the Chiefs on Sunday. I mean, I thought Brock Purdy was pretty poor. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk injured. I mean, who knows what they're going to do there. But I thought Brock Purdy, I mean, the turnovers, I think he had 3 interceptions. Probably his worst performance of the season. I'm going to double check. I think it was 3 interceptions. I don't just go by box scores, but I am going to pull up the box score and make sure. Yeah, 3 interceptions from Brock Purdy. I know the Chiefs defense is good, but that's probably his worst performance of the year so far. I thought Brock Purdy was pretty poor. Geno Smith for Seattle against the Falcons. I thought Geno was good. I mean, this was a good rebound win for them. They had lost 3 in a row. Looked like that ship was starting to sink. They go on the road. Geno performs well, as he has most of the year. I mean, Geno Smith has been mostly good this season, and I thought he was good on Sunday for Seattle. Kyler Murray on Monday night against the Chargers on ESPN Plus. Can we stop putting these games on all of these different subscription-based platforms? It's ridiculous. But I thought Kyler was good. I thought Kyler, obviously he had the touchdown run that just looked effortless. And I say this about him every week. Kyler Murray on any given week has potential to be the most dangerous player in the NFL. It's just, can he do it consistently enough? I mean, there are things that he can do on a football field that I don't think really anybody else, except maybe Lamar Jackson, can do. He is so fast. He is so agile. It's just, can he do it consistently? But that was a big win for them to kind of get back in the race. Matthew Stafford with the Rams as they get a win over one of the worst teams in the league, the Raiders. I'm going to say Stafford was fine. Again, Matthew Stafford is really having to tough it out without Cooper Kupp, without Puka Nacua. He's not in a good situation, and he's just been getting killed back there, trying to make something happen with guys that he probably didn't expect to be throwing to. But I think Matt Stafford was fine. Obviously, the Rams got the win on Sunday. Now we go to the AFC West with Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert, you know what? Some people might disagree. I'm going to say Herbert was good because I think when you look at, I know they lost, but he still threw for over 300 yards. And I think you're now seeing what I was trying to say before the season started. The Chargers just don't have any weapons on the outside. Obviously, J.K. Dobbins has been running wild for them, but they don't have weapons on the outside. And so the fact that Justin Herbert, who we've seen be great for a lot of times through his first few years in the NFL, he's struggling, I think, or he has struggled so far this season because he just doesn't have those weapons, like when he had Keenan Allen and Mike Williams on the outside. But he's still, putting up numbers. He's still doing good things. He just doesn't have, and neither does Patrick Mahomes, but Mahomes is who he is for a reason. But Justin Herbert, I still think, played well on Monday night when you consider who he was trying to throw to. Patrick Mahomes, everybody's wondering what the heck's wrong with him. What the heck's wrong with the Chiefs? I don't know, man. They're 6-0. It's hard to say something's wrong when you're 6-0, but I get what people are saying. I thought Mahomes was fine. But by Mahomes' standards, I don't think he has looked like Patrick Mahomes at all this season. And that's frightening because they're 6-0. They're 6-0, and he hasn't even looked like the Patrick Mahomes we've come to know. So if he taps into that, if they make a big trade for a DeAndre Hopkins or somebody like that, and he starts becoming the Patrick Mahomes that we've seen, if they're 6-0 with this version of him, God help us. Bo Nix with the Broncos. I mean, on one hand, he threw some awful passes Thursday night. He was absolutely the lesser of two evils between him and Spencer Rattler. We'll get to Rattler here in a second. But I'm going to say Bo Nix was fine, even though the one throw where he overthrew the one open guy and he underthrew the other open guy. He had two open guys and somehow he missed them both. Bo Nix was not particularly great, but like I've said before, he didn't do anything horrible to lose his team the game. He didn't have any huge mistakes. He took care of the ball, and so for that, I will put Bo Nix into the fine category. Now, Gardner Minshew with the Raiders finds himself in the trash. The Raiders are in desperate need of a quarterback. They do not have a starting quarterback on the roster. Gardner Minshew is not it. Aiden O'Connell is not it. And so the Raiders, who will probably be picking in the top 5, are probably going to be going after the quarterback of the future. Gardner Minshew was trash on Sunday. And speaking of trash, we go to the NFC East with Daniel Jones, who was also trash. I have defended Daniel Jones a lot on this channel, but not this week. He was trash. This was awful. Over the last 2 weeks, the Giants have scored a whopping 10 points, 7 against the Bengals, 3 against the Eagles. Daniel Jones kind of got benched in this game. I don't think that'll last because they paid him too much money. Why? But Daniel Jones, yeah, he was trash. As for his opponent, Jalen Hurts, Hurts was fine. Nothing that would just wow you numbers wise, but like I said, Saquon Barkley had 175 yards. So when your running back's putting up those kinds of numbers, it really requires less of you a lot of times. And so Jalen Hurts, he took care of the ball, didn't do anything crazy. You can tell he's glad to have AJ back. I would be too. And so I thought Jalen Hurts was fine. And then we get to my guy Marcus Mariota, who came in for the injured Jaden Daniels. This has been a tough season for Titans fans. Not just that our team is so bad, but to watch guys who we let go tear it up somewhere else. And this is the latest case of that. Marcus Mariota, for what they needed, I thought he was great. I thought Marcus Mariota was great when you consider that Jaden Daniels, who has been the heart and soul of that Commanders team, got hurt early on. Not a major injury. He should be back soon, but he got hurt early on. So really Marcus had to play for most of this game, and the Commanders still put up 40 points. Marcus had tremendous numbers, very accurate, making plays on the run. Probably the best version of Marcus Mariota that I've seen since his sophomore season in the league. I thought Marcus was great in this game. I know it was against Carolina. Let's throw that caveat in as well. It was against Carolina, but I thought Marcus was great. Josh Allen, thought he was great. Josh Allen, took him a little bit to get into it, but once he got rolling in the second half, started getting Amari Cooper involved. I mean, Josh Allen in the second half against my Titans did what he should have done the whole game, and he tore it up. And Josh Allen, people try to, discredit him and make it sound like he's not as good as he is. No, don't get it twisted. Josh Allen is great. He is a great quarterback. Drake May in his second start ever over in London in a losing effort against the Jags. I thought Drake May was good. He is definitely not the biggest problem they have there. I mean, the Patriots just have a bad team. They have a bad roster, but if he continues to play well, then they can go into this offseason and build around him. They'll probably have a top 5 pick as well. Very possible. So they could, get a Travis Hunter or they could, maybe get a wide receiver or something to help him out because they need a lot of help around him. But I thought Drake May was good. Aaron, by God, Rodgers. Everybody's waiting on the Jets to turn it around, and I don't know if it's going to happen. They'll probably win this week because I think they're playing the Patriots. But, I mean, honestly, I'm going to say Rodgers was poor because when you consider what Jets fans expected from him, especially with the Devontae Adams trade, and here he comes, and I mean, people expected this to be a contender. And the Jets' whole organization is in shambles right now. I think they fired their coach way too early. they're clearly still trying to win now. They want to win right now, and I get that because you only have Aaron Rodgers for a limited time. But, when you consider what people expected from him, especially on this week with Devontae Adams coming back, I thought Aaron Rodgers was poor, and I thought he got flat out outplayed by the guy everybody wants to make fun of, Russell Wilson. We'll get to him in a little bit. I went with Snoop Huntley for the Dolphins, even though it was kind of an even split. He got hurt, so it was like he threw 13 passes, Tim Boyle threw 13 passes, whatever. I thought, I'm going to put him in the poor category. Really, I'm tempted to put him in the trash. Only reason I'm not is because at least he didn't turn the ball over. But, the Dolphins really need Tua back. The Dolphins really need Tua back. It's just, they are in shambles right now. And I don't even know if Tua can help them recover. But right now, the Dolphins are just terrible. Sam Darnold, I'm surprised. The Vikings took their first loss. I'm surprised to hear rumors of the Vikings trying to trade for Matthew Stafford. Because once again, I thought Darnold was good. Again, losing effort, but it was a good game. Didn't look like they didn't belong on the field with Detroit. They played well, came down to the end. And I thought Sam Darnold was still good, if I'm a Vikings fan, I would still be pleased with how he's played. 5-1, I'll take it if I'm Minnesota. Jared Goff, I thought Jared Goff was great. And I think Jared Goff is absolutely a top 5 quarterback in this league right now. He is so accurate. He is so efficient. Doesn't even throw a lot of incomplete passes. He takes care of the ball, gets all of his weapons involved. He is going to obliterate my Tennessee Titans on Sunday, I'm afraid. But I think Jared Goff has just been tremendous. Just tremendous. Jordan Love. I thought Love was good. I thought Jordan Love was good. Still had a couple of interceptions, so that's why I'm not going to put him into the great category. But some of those balls he threw, he had just such tight windows. Very scary accurate. Texans defenders missing by fingertips while he gets it to receive. Beautiful passes by Jordan Love. He did throw a couple of interceptions. He's had a little bit of a turnover problem this year, but mostly I think Jordan Love has been very good since he came back from his injury. Joe Burrow with Cincinnati. I'd say Burrow was good. I think Burrow was good. Played a nice, clean game against a bad Cleveland team. And the Bengals are slowly getting it together. This will, they have a test this weekend going up against Philadelphia. But Burrow, I thought, was good. And I think people are sleeping on him. And if they can get rolling in the second half of the season, look out. The Browns. I didn't go with Watson because I was like, you know what? I'm not going to kick him when he's down. Because the Cleveland fans will do that themselves. And I don't know why they won't put Jameis Winston in there. They went with Thompson Robinson. And, just trash. I'll put him in the trash. I don't know why they wouldn't just go with Jameis Winston. I don't know what they have against him. But, yeah, I thought Thompson Robinson was trash. Lamar Jackson, just great. Lamar Jackson was great. He's been great. To me, I think the Ravens may be the team to beat right now in the NFL. They just, with the way Derek's running, Lamar just is on another level. Of course, we've seen Lamar be tremendous in the regular season before, and then he gets to the playoffs, and everything just kind of goes to nothing. But we'll see how that goes when that time gets here. But for right now, I think Lamar Jackson is just playing at as high a level as any quarterback in the league. He's just tremendous. Russell Wilson. Dang it, I thought Russell was good. I thought Russell Wilson was good. You know something? People want to pick on the guy. Whoops. Let's get that back there. I was trying to move me. There we go. People want to pick on the guy. I think Russell Wilson's one of the funniest players in the NFL. He is so unintentionally funny. He's funny in the way of The Office. He's like an Office kind of. He's like a character from The Office, standing on the logo in the middle of the field and singing his praise and worship music while the cameras, like, it's hilarious. Doing push-ups on the airplane, Broncos country, let's ride. Like, he is the funniest quarterback, and everybody, including me, questioned Mike Tomlin making that move, but I thought Russell Wilson was good. I thought Russell Wilson, I don't think there should be any more questions for right now about why Mike Tomlin made that decision. I think Russell Wilson was good. I thought he outplayed Aaron Rodgers. Andy Dalton, trash. The Carolina Panthers are horrible again. Andy Dalton, benching Bryce Young for Andy Dalton was a complete waste of time, a complete waste of energy. It has done nothing for this organization. It has done nothing for this team. And, Andy Dalton was trash. Kirk Cousins, I thought Cousins was fine. But this was a disappointing performance for the Falcons because they had been kind of rolling, feeling good about where they were, and then you just get clobbered by the Seahawks at home. Cousins was fine. I don't think he was at all the biggest problem. I think the Falcons have problems defensively, but I thought Cousins was fine. Spencer Rattler, God bless him, he was trash. Spencer Rattler was trash. Now, you got to keep in mind he was without Taysom Hill. He was without his top two receivers, Olave and Shaheed. But in any event, I mean, the play where he bobbled the snap and then got it back and then fumbled, and I mean, it was just not good. Not good for Spencer Rattler on Thursday against Denver. He goes into the trash. Baker Mayfield, this is a tough one because Baker had a couple of bad interceptions. But overall, I still think Baker played good. I still think Baker was good. Outside of those interceptions, I just think Lamar and the Ravens are on another level right now. And the Bucs, you know what? I'm going to take him down to fine. Because the Bucs, the final score of this game is not even indicative of how lopsided it was. I mean, it was 41-18 or whatever at one point. I mean, the Ravens, after the Bucs got up 10-0, the Ravens just ran wild after that. And Baker threw a bad interception in the red zone, had another floater that got intercepted. So, yeah, he goes into the fine category. Anthony Richardson. I just laugh when I talk about Anthony Richardson because we just talked so much about him before the season. I thought Anthony Richardson, you know what? Trash. I know they won. They beat the Dolphins. Lesser of two evils. I don't care. For what I was told this guy was going to be, and I'm not even picking on Colts fans. Colts fans, I get Colts fans being excited. I get Colts fans defending their guy. I get that. But I'm talking about in the national media that told me that this guy had Hall of Fame talent. This guy, if he could just stay healthy. Well, he hasn't, first of all. And second of all, even when he is healthy, what has anybody seen from him? I mean, you talk about Will Levis all you want. Will Levis has not been good for my Titans. But at least Will Levis was a second-round pick. This guy was picked number 4 overall and has been talked about like he is the golden goose of Indianapolis, Indiana. And to continually play the way he does, give me a break. C.J. Stroud. How are we not talking about this? I know the Packers are great. C.J. Stroud threw for a whopping 86 yards. Third down passing was awful. Trash. C.J. Stroud goes into the trash this week. Like, unbelievable that that's not getting more coverage. I mean, listen, C.J. Stroud is far and away the best quarterback in the AFC South. Like, not even close. And overall, C.J. Stroud is great. I understand that. But it's funny to me that when he puts up a performance like this, when he puts up a performance that doesn't fit the narrative of he's the future, we just ignore it. We just don't talk about it. We pretend it never happened. C.J. Stroud was terrible Sunday. And I know Green Bay's great, but in a big-time game like this, and he threw for 86 yards, Am I the only one that noticed? Because I ain't heard nobody else talk about it. Trevor Lawrence. I thought Trevor was good. And I have said I'm not a Jaguar defender. I'm obviously, as a Titans fan, I don't like the Jaguars at all. I'm mostly, I understand they paid Trevor a lot of money, and it's disappointing when he doesn't live up to that. But I also think the play calling, the coaching, receivers like Gabe Davis dropping passes has not helped him. I thought Trevor was good. Now, they were playing the Patriots. But I thought Trevor was good. And then we get to the home team, the Tennessee Titans, who had Mason Rudolph starting at Buffalo. My head hurts. He's better than Will, but he's the kind of better that is the difference between the Titans finishing 3-14 and 5-12. If they stick with Will, they'll probably finish 3-14 and pick in the top 3. If they go to Mason, they'll finish 5-12 and pick in the top 10. Overall, I thought Mason was, even though he's better than Will, I still thought he was poor. And I know you're a backup quarterback on the road at Buffalo. You've got guys like Calvin Ridley dropping passes, but still, I mean, you had a botched snap exchange between the center and Mason. You had holding on to the ball too long, which resulted in a 20-yard loss on a fumble. You had what should have been 3 interceptions. I mean, and even with all of that, he was still the better option at quarterback for the Titans, but he was still poor. You know, that's my rankings for this week. In the great tier. In the great tier, Lamar Jackson, Jared Goff, Josh Allen, and Marcus Mariota. One of these things is not like the other. In the good category, how about Geno Smith, Kyler Murray, Justin Herbert, Drake May, Sam Darnold, Jordan Love, Joe Burrow, Russell Wilson, Trevor Lawrence. In the fine category, Matt Stafford, Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, Jalen Hurts, Kirk Cousins, and Baker Mayfield. In the poor category, Brock Purdy, Aaron Rodgers, Snoop Huntley, and Mason Rudolph. And in the trash, Gardner Minshew, Daniel Jones, Dorian Green-Robinson, Andy Dalton, Spencer Rattler, Anthony Richardson, and C.J. Stroud. Let me know what you think, everybody. Bye.